Ladies and gentlemen, what is going on, everybody? This is Joseph Conlon coming to you with your AEW Dynamite review on Wednesday, May 13th, 2020. Once again, AEW absolutely killed it tonight on tonight's episode of Dynamite. We got a lot to talk about on the review. Great matches that happened on this show. We got an excellent tag team match with Santana and Ortiz versus Kenny Omega and Matt Hardy. I was about to say Adam Hangman Page. We saw Pineapple Pete versus Chris Jericho, and Chris Jericho and the Inner Circle's challenge to the Elite. We'll talk about that. And then the main event, we saw Christopher Daniels versus Mr. Brody Lee, and AEW is stacking up Double or Nothing next Saturday, May 23rd, on pay-per-view. That show looks absolutely incredible. And we're going to talk about the new matches announced and my thoughts on the Double or Nothing pay-per-view so far. So this is going to be a great review, a really fun review, and I got my signature milkshake, as you guys can see right there. Let me take a sip of it. So good, man. I love milkshakes. But before we start this AEW Dynamite review, since we got a lot to talk about, make sure you guys go check out some recent videos right here on the Big Fight Field channel. Check out my Money in the Bank review from Sunday night, the Monday Night Raw review from Monday, and last night's Dark Side of the Ring review with the Road Warriors. I gotta say thank you to each and every single one of you who have viewed my videos from last week into this week, because you guys have been killing it with the views on a weekly basis. The views are going up and up every single week. Let's just get more subscribers right here on the Big Fight Field channel. So Dynamite started off with Lance Archer and Jake the Snake Roberts. They were speaking. While Lance Archer made his entrance, he threw a producer, I think, through the tunnel and out onto the stage, and that was really funny. Oh, excuse me. We saw Jake and Lance Archer in the ring at the same time. Jake Roberts cutting a promo saying that Cody is going to get his ass beat at Double or Nothing, and Brandy got what she deserved last week, and she can kiss his ass. So good old Jake Roberts there. He then talks about Lance Archer and all that stuff. And then we see Cody pull up in his Ford 150 truck. He pulls up in his truck. He gets out of the truck, and him and Lance Archer start brawling. They're brawling on the outside. They come in the ring. Archer gets some offense in. Cody gets some offense in. Cody goes for a cutter, and Lance Archer catches him, and then Jake Roberts pulls Lance Archer back and saves it for the pay-per-view. This was a good promo from Jake Roberts. Not bad promo for Jake Roberts, but the brawl between Cody and Lance Archer has been it was really damn good. It was a good brawl between the guys, and damn it, I hate sneezing. I'm like Vince. I hate when I sneeze, especially on camera too. But this is absolutely legendary. Two things. Next week, we're getting a face-to-face between Jake Roberts and Arn Anderson. I cannot wait for that. And at Double or Nothing, I mean, this is huge. I'm sure you guys know this. This is massive, massive, massive news. Iron Mike Tyson will be presenting the TNT Championship to either Cody or Lance Archer. And that is huge for AEW. You guys might not think so, but this is absolutely huge for AEW. Mike Tyson is a huge name. And to have a guy like him present the TNT Championship to either Cody or Archer, that is huge. That's not only huge for Double or Nothing, but it's huge for AEW. And it makes the TNT Championship match that much special. Cody and Lance Archer. I will go out there and say this. I might get people angry, but I really don't care. Cody and Lance Archer has been the best built storyline throughout this entire pandemic. End of discussion. We saw the best friends, Trent and Chucky T, versus the Jurassic Express, Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus. I did not take notes for this match, but this was a damn good tag team match with lots of back and forth offense in between the two guys. Luchasaurus proving how great he is. Jungle Boy is so talented. But then at the end of the match, Jungle Boy's on the outside. Before that, Orange Cassidy's on the stage. Rey Fenix gives Orange Cassidy a huge hook kick to the face. MJF throws Jungle Boy to the ring post and then throws him into the ring. And then Wardlow just throws Marco Stunt into the barricade. That looked absolutely brutal. Trent is checking on Orange Cassidy to make sure that he's okay since he got kicked by Phoenix. Chucky T gives Jungle Boy his pile driver, and the best friends pick up the victory over Jurassic Express. This was a good tag team match, and I love the story and the storytelling of progressing that they're showing. Rey Fenix and Orange Cassidy are both in the casino ladder match. Rey Fenix comes out and kicks Orange Cassidy in the face to set up a match next week for Dynamite. That should be great. That match should be absolutely great. And then MJF throws Jungle Boy to the ring post to continue that storyline going into the Double or Nothing. It's just two storylines in one match. I absolutely love it. This was great. I loved everything about this. I loved everything about it. Let me take a sip of my milkshake. Penelope Ford versus Chris Statlander versus Britt Baker versus Hikaru Sheeta. This was guaranteed a number one contender match to face Nyla Rose at Double or Nothing. So, before the match starts, JR is calling Britt Baker Tony Schiavone's girl, and Tony Schiavone is saying that he talks to Britt Baker on a weekly basis, and I kind of laughed at that one. That was funny, JR. Baker goes right after Hikaru Sheeta and tries to break her teeth since she broke Britt Baker's nose a few weeks ago. Sheeta and Statlander give Britt Baker a double backbreaker. Britt Baker hits a sling blade onto Sheeta, then Statlander grabs Britt Baker's nose. Ford gives Baker a DDT for a kickout. Baker slams Statlander's head on the turnbuckle. Statlander power bombs Sheeta on the ground while Sheeta superplexes Britt Baker. Chris Statlander then gives Penelope Ford a suplex for a near fall. Back from commercial, Baker gives Sheeta a running knee. Baker gives Statlander a nice Canadian destroyer. Ford gives Baker and Sheeta stunners for near falls. Moments later, Statlander gives Britt Baker a Falcon Arrow for a near fall. Ford hits a missile dropkick on Hikaru Sheeta for a kick out at 2. Sabian and Ford are making out, and Sheeta kicks Kip Sabian in the face. Sheeta hits Falcon Arrow onto Ford. Sheeta then hits a running knee on Penelope Ford for the win. And outside the ring, Britt Baker is giving the lockjaw to Chris Statlander. She does not let go of Chris Statlander to go break up the pinfall. She's fighting for an AEW Women's Championship match, and she's more worried about Chris Statlander than she is a potential championship match. I kind of found that dumb, but that's just me. But this was good women's Fatal 4-Way match. Hikaru Sheeta was obviously going to win this one. She's been the number one contender, I think, ever since after Revolution. So now she is finally getting her match at Double or Nothing against Nyla Rose. And it was announced that Britt Baker is going to go one-on-one with Chris Statlander. I'm not really looking forward to that match at all. I think they would have been better off saving that match for Dynamite, if I'm going to be honest. I think it got announced for the buy-in. I'm not quite sure, but knowing that this match is happening at Double or Nothing, I do hope it's on the buy-in and not the main show. As for Hikaru Sheeta, she gets interviewed backstage by Lexi, and Nyla Rose comes up. She congratulates Hikaru Sheeta, and she gives Sheeta a present, and she hits Sheeta right on top of the head with Sheeta's kendo stick. That looked brutal. That looked absolutely brutal, and it looked like it hurt too. So because of that, it gets announced for the show that at Double or Nothing, it'll be Nyla Rose versus Hikaru Sheeta in a no disqualification match for the AEW Women's Championship. So I'm looking forward to that match at Double or Nothing. Hikaru Sheeta needs to become the AEW Women's Champion. She is their best wrestler by far. My favorite match of the night, tonight on Dynamite. This was my favorite match. We saw a tag team match with Santana and Ortiz versus Kenny Omega and Broken Matt Hardy. By the way, I love the tag team of Kenny Omega and Matt Hardy. They work so well together. They work so well. So I took lots of notes for this match, actually. I knew this was going to be epic and chaotic, so I figured I would take lots of notes. I took like 5 bullet points on the second page, but here we go. Santana and Ortiz attack Kenny Omega during his entrance. Santana hits a beautiful moonsault onto Kenny. Matt Hardy comes out. Damascus Matt Hardy. Broken Matt Hardy. Hardy bites Santana's hand and foot. Santana Irish whips Matt Hardy to the guardrail on the outside. After a nice sequence, Ortiz scratches Omega's back. Omega gives both guys famouser it looked like to be. Hardy and Omega give Ortiz a double suplex. Hardy gives Santana a side effect and a leg drop. Santana gives Omega a forearm, then throws him to the outside. Ortiz grabs Omega's ankle and plants him on the apron. Back from commercial, Santana gives Omega a chop and then put in a Boston Crab, and Ortiz puts in a crossface. Again, this looked really painful. Ortiz gives Omega the claws once again. The babyfaces on the outside of the ring are chanting, Kenny, Kenny, Kenny. Santana and Ortiz give Omega a double Northern Light suplex. Ortiz and Omega give each other forearms. After the claws from Ortiz, Omega hits a Snapdragon. Matt Hardy gets a hot tag. Hardy hits a side effect on Santana for a kick out. Hardy gives a elbow to the neck of Santana. Ortiz dumps Hardy over the outside, and Santana hits a topade, a nice topade. Omega then takes out Santana with his own topade suicida. Twist of Fate to Santana, and Ortiz nearly, and I mean nearly, breaks up this pinfall. On the outside, Ortiz throws Hardy to the ring post. Ortiz hits a shotgun dropkick, then into a senton from Santana for a kick out by Omega. Santana and Ortiz looking for their finisher, and Omega hits a nice Hurricane Rana onto Ortiz. Matt Hardy has in this sleeper hold on Ortiz. Out comes Sammy Guevara. Sammy Guevara comes out. He's wearing a neck brace. He's got a steel chair. And Hardy kicks the steel chair away from Sammy Guevara. And he gives Sammy Guevara a twist of fate. And when I mean Sammy Guevara sold the shit out of this twist of fate, he sold the shit out of this twist of fate. Oh my God, man. That man's neck, if his neck wasn't broken last week, it's broken this week, man. Oh my God. So then Omega hits a V-trigger onto Ortiz into a twist of fate by Matt Hardy. And Matt Hardy and Kenny Omega get the victory. This was great. This was an excellent tag team match between Matt Hardy and Kenny Omega facing off against Santana and Ortiz. All four of these guys are excellent at what they do. Seeing Matt Hardy the way he is, he wasn't like this in the WWE for a few years. He looked kind of slow and all that stuff and old. Matt Hardy looked great in this match. He looked really, really great in this match, and it makes me happy to see Matt Hardy in AEW competing in a match like this. Gotta get it in there. But this was probably my favorite thing throughout the entire night. This match. This match was excellent. If you guys did not see this match, I advise you to go see it. We then saw MJF's first match back from life-threatening injury, hurting his neck, shaving, and thumbnail scratched. Life-threatening injury from MJF. He faced off against Lee Johnson, and he beat Lee Johnson in about 2 minutes. MJF then grabs a microphone, and he says, "These fools don't know how to treat a real professional who is 24 years old," and he says he's got a match with Jungle Boy at Double or Nothing, and he's feeling a little bit of ring rust. And he signed his name to a contract for a match against good old little Marco Stunt. And he says he'll teach Marco Stunt next week on Dynamite that he is better than him, and he knows it. Wardlow puts the diamond ring on MJF's pinky, and there you go. Next week on Dynamite, we got MJF versus Marco Stunt. This builds up to the MJF Jungle Boy match at Double or Nothing. A match that everybody was looking forward to. Chris Jericho versus Pineapple Pete. Pineapple Pete versus Chris Jericho. So Chris Jericho does some taunting in the beginning. They're staring down. Jericho slaps Pineapple Pete, and the TV beeped for about a few seconds. I'm guessing Pineapple Pete dropped the F-bomb. I'm guessing that he dropped the F-bomb, because that would have not went out for as long as it did. But Pineapple Pete was pissed. He went at it with Jericho on the ring post, laying down some punches, coming back for some more punches. Then he went to the turnbuckle, and Jericho gave him a Judas effect, and Pineapple Pete sold the hell out of this Judas effect. He was great at selling the Judas effect, and Chris Jericho beat Pineapple Pete in a minute. Chris Jericho can literally get anybody over. He got Pineapple Pete over, and I really was pulling for Pineapple Pete, but I knew he was not going to win this match. But he made me invested in a guy like Pineapple Pete. You know, the man's a legend. He's making me care about Pineapple Pete. And I'm pretty sure that AEW signed him to a contract because they gave him Pyro as well. Pineapple Pete came out with Pyro, which I was very surprised by. But then Chris Jericho got on the microphone and he said, after tonight, we don't have to worry about the huge threat of Pineapple Pete. And I laughed at that too. And then he said, let's focus on the Elite. We haven't seen the Elite together in about 2 months after what we did to them. And Hangman is home picking berries at North Carolina. The Young Bucks are home in California moaning on how great Chris Jericho in the Inner Circle is. So I laughed at that too. And then in comes Vanguard 1. Vanguard 1 showed up with the Inner Circle shirt. And Chris Jericho cut a promo on Vanguard 1. Once again. I mean, seriously. This man can make anything good. He really can. This is why he's the GOAT, folks. This is why Chris Jericho's the freaking GOAT of pro wrestling. When he said he was the GOAT, I don't understand why he got backlash. He really is. But he cut a promo on Vanguard 1, and he was like, you tell the Elite that at Double or Nothing, it's going to be the Inner Circle versus the Elite in a stadium stampede match at Double or Nothing. And Vanguard 1 said, we accept, and Jericho said, we have a sixth member of the Inner Circle. And I think he named the bat like Kenny or Lenny or something like that. So we had the baseball bat. And he smacked the baseball bat onto the drone. And Jericho beat up the drone with the baseball bat. And the Inner Circle members were stomping away. And Jericho was getting in the drone's face like this. And then Matt Hardy came out. And Matt Hardy looked depressed. I was very depressed too. R.I.P. R.I.P. Vanguard 1. You know, R.I.P. Vanguard 1, man. 2016 to 2020. Vanguard 1 is dead, folks. This day will be sad forever. For real. This was great. I mean, how could this not be great, you know? This was Chris Jericho and the Inner Circle, and they make anything gold. Chris Jericho cut a promo on the gold, and now Vanguard 1 will probably come back to life at Double or Nothing, and I think we're getting a Stadium Stampede match because they couldn't do the Blood and Guts match. They were originally going to do Jericho and Matt Hardy in the Elite Deletion match. But since we didn't get the Blood and Guts match because of everything going on, they made it up for a Stadium Stampede match, which they're going to be fighting all over Jacksonville Jaguars Stadium. He said, you thought the street fight was crazy. Wait till you watch Double or Nothing. I can't wait for this match, dude. I don't even know who's going to be in the Elite. It's probably going to be Matt Hardy, Kenny Omega, the returning Young Bucks, and the returning Adam Hangman Page. That is going to be great. Friggin' great. I can't wait for that match. That match is going to be legendary. We then get some announcements for next week's Dynamite and Double or Nothing. Let's start with next week's Dynamite. Next week we're getting MJF versus Marco Stunt face to face with Arn Anderson and Jake Roberts, which I'm really looking forward to. Ray Phoenix versus Orange Cassidy, Sammy Guevara versus Broken Matt Hardy, and Jon Moxley versus 10 of the Dark Order. And I'm hoping I'm not forgetting anything else. I'm not forgetting anything. That's the lineup for next week. So we got MJF, Marco Stunt, Arn Anderson, Jake Roberts face to face, Orange Cassidy and Ray Phoenix go at it. Jon Moxley and 10, and Sammy Guevara and Matt Hardy. And then Double or Nothing. We're getting Chris Statlander and Britt Baker, like I said. Nyla Rose, Hikaru Sheeta in a no disqualification match for the Women's Championship. Private Party versus the Best Friends, which they did say would be on the Double or Nothing buy-in to crown number one contenders for the tag team titles. So that's going to be a big match. That's going to be a very underrated match that no one talks about. We're getting the Stadium Stampede match with the Inner Circle and the Elite. And then the presentation from Mike Tyson for the AEW TNT Championship. I cannot wait for Double or Nothing, man. Seriously. Can it be May 23rd already? Can it? Let's talk about the main event. Christopher Daniels versus Mr. Brody Lee. Match was decent. I was going to take notes for this match, but I really didn't feel like taking notes. Match went about 14 minutes with brawls from the Dark Order guys. Frankie Kazarian and Scorpio Sky got involved. Colt Cabana helped as well. Christopher Daniels was watching the brawl. Then Brody Lee got Daniels in a chokeslam position. Daniels countered with the Fallen Angel. Brody Lee kicked out, and then Brody Lee hit a huge discus clothesline on Christopher Daniels, and Brody Lee defeated Christopher Daniels. Then two Dark Order guys and 10, who was holding the AEW Championship, came out. Moxley came through the audience. He attacked the two Dark Order guys as Brody Lee and 10 went backstage with the AEW Championship. And Moxley said, Brody Lee made this personal. The World Championship is just not a piece of gold. It means everything to me. It's my heart and soul of this business. And he said Brody Lee better be careful what he wishes for, because at Double or Nothing, Jon Moxley is going to teach him a lesson. So that is that. And we're getting Jon Moxley and Brody Lee at Double or Nothing, like we found out last week. And Jon Moxley versus 10 next week on Dynamite. Great show tonight. Really damn great show tonight. Once again, AEW killed it. I'm so excited, man. I'm pumped for Double or Nothing. I really am, man. I had high questions about it first. See how the card was going to play. I thought they were going to cancel it. I was a little wishy-washy about it when they announced that it was going to happen. Probably with an empty audience. It's still going to happen with an empty audience, but my God, this card is unbelievable. I mean, we got the Jon Moxley, Brody Lee for the World Championship, Lance Archer and Cody for the TNT Championship, the Stadium Stampede match with the Inner Circle and the Elite, Nyla Rose and Hikaru Sheeta in a no DQ for the Women's Championship, MJF and Jungle Boy, the Casino Ladder match. That is 6 matches, I think, right? Yeah, 6 matches. And then we got Private Party, Best Friends, and Britt Baker, Hikaru Shida. This card is stacked, guys. This is a stacked card, and at the end of the day, I'm going to order Double or Nothing. This pay-per-view is worth my money. I did not know if I was going to do it at first, but it's worth the money. This show is going to be freaking fantastic. I cannot wait for May 23rd to come. I wish it was tomorrow. I wish the show was tomorrow. That's how excited I am for Double or Nothing. This card looks great. I'm getting out of here. Thank you guys for watching this AEW Dynamite review. If you haven't already, subscribe right here on the Big Fight Field channel. We're 3 subscribers away from 80, so hopefully let's get that by the end of the week. Let's get to 80 subscribers by the end of the week. Comment down below what you thought of this week's episode of AEW Dynamite. If you thought this episode of AEW Dynamite was good this week, leave a thumbs up with a super kick. And then follow me on Twitter at Conlon_Joseph and Instagram at Conlon_Joseph. Follow Eddie on Twitter at Eddie Mullins515. And I will be right back here tomorrow for your NXT review right here on the Big Fight Field channel. I have not watched it yet. I might go watch a little bit of it now and then get some sleep. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow for the NXT review. Have a good night and stay safe.